Hey guys, welcome to Trade Smart with Gerard, episode 12. Today, we are going to be focusing on fail, marry, buy or sell together with a marry buy or a marry sell. So why is this important? You guys have learned how to mark a marry buy or a marry fail, right? The most important thing is that we are going to be a bit more in depth of how do we do our zones and how do I mark my zones. So let's get into it. First thing that we're going to start off with today is looking at fail, marry, buy. So to understand what is a fail, marry, buy, you need to know what is a marry buy first. In this case, we have identified this as our marry buy. Price went all the way up and price retraced all the way down. When this happens, we have identified our first zone called the fail, marry, buy. Next, after having a breakout, we are expecting price to retrace into our zone. So remember, price needs to retrace into our zone. Our zone is from the high and the low of the bearish candle of the marry buy. This is our zone, right? So this is our zone. We are expecting price to retrace into our zone and closing as a sell marry. So that's when it comes in as second sell marry. So if we have the fail, marry, buy, it needs to form a marry sell. Can you guys understand? So for this chapter, I will be making sure that you guys understand how do we identify these two zones. So after marking these two zones, you would have a zone like this. First is like this. This is going to be your first box, and your second box is going to be here, like this and like this. So can you see the zones are overlapping? Right? So the zones over here are what we are looking for, right? So I hope you guys understand. And now let's look into the next one. What do we have over here? When we have fail, marry, sell, we need to make sure that we are pairing it with a marry buy. So today I will be showing you live in terms of how are we supposed to be looking for the zones. Next, let's start drawing. Fail, marry, sell. I will draw it with you guys so that you guys understand and you guys are clearer of what is it. Fail, marry, sell. We need to start off with marking a marry sell. So we have a blue candle over here. Next, we are looking for, okay, wait, I think I'm gonna move it. So when we have already first, we have our marry sell. But remember, in this case, we are looking for a fail, marry, sell. So what's going to happen is that we have two bearish candles. Next, we're going to have a blue candle. And the next candle, we're going to have the blue candle. In this case, we have already formed a fail, marry, sell. As you guys can see, I'm going to mark this guy like this. And then we're going to make it as a zone like this. So when you have identified your first zone, which is back to fail, marry, sell, the next thing that we want is we would want price to retrace into our zone. Let's draw the zone again. So I'm going to draw the zone like this, from the high to the low. When we have identified the zone, remember, all we want is price to retrace into the zone and for it to close as a marry buy. Okay, so let's draw it. So we have the candlestick coming in. So price is inside our zone now. So what do? We gotta wait at least for price to close as a merry buy. So when this thing happens, you can mark two zones. So the first zone that you can mark is obviously this, all the way up like this. And the second zone that we can mark is from this candle to this. So we have the overlapping zones over here, right? When price makes a breakout, we are waiting for price to pull back into this zone that we have marked earlier. So this is what we're waiting for, and this is what we are focusing on this topic. So let's get into the charts, and I hope you guys will understand further, because the next 8 minutes would practice the markings of fail, merry sell, and looking for merry buy. So let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to the continuation video of episode 12, Trade Smart with Gerard. In this video, I will be focusing on two things. I would like you guys to identify first, fail, merry, buy or sell, and the second thing that we need to identify is buy merry or sell merry. So we are looking for two separate things which we will combine, and I will teach you ways of combining this. So let's get into it. I have found that this fail, merry, sell has happened over here. So what I made is a zone, and as soon as price came back into our zone, price closed as a merry buy. So we are going to make our zone like this. We have our first box over here, and the second box that we're gonna have is with this buy merry. So what we have found over here is that we have marked the zone with the fail, merry, sell, and also with the merry buy. Let's start looking at more, right? So where's the next one? Look at this. This is our. So I will go through with you slowly so that you guys understand. First, identify what is this. This is a merry buy, but a merry buy that failed. So we have the first one, which we're gonna write it down as fail, merry, buy. When we have a fail, merry, buy, we can make our first zone like this. So identify the next thing that price is supposed to do in the zone. When we have a fail, merry, buy, we need to be looking for merry, sell, which is the opposite. So in this case, where is our merry sell? In this case, we have this as our merry sell. And most importantly, it needs to be in the zone of the fail, merry. Alright? So this is our fail, merry zone. And look at this. Merry sell actually happened inside the same zone. So this can be considered as our valid first merry sell. We're just gonna make it as a zone like this. So as you guys can see, price came back into the zone and then close another SSL again. But don't worry, this is going to be in the next few chapters, because for this chapter we are solely focusing on marking two things: the fail, merry, buy or sell, together with merry, buy or sell. Clear? Let's go. Next, what do we have? Let's mark with me. What is this? This is called a merry buy, correct? This is a merry buy. But remember, what are we looking for? We are looking for merry buy that failed, right? Oops, why did the chart change to PTC? Found it, guys, right? So remember, we are looking for fail, marry, buy. In this case, we have this candlestick which starts off as our marry buy, but what happens next is this marry buy becomes a buy, marry, fail, which is what we are looking for. So when we have identified our fail, buy, marry, the next thing that we are looking for is price coming back into the zone, and we need price to create a sell, marry. So where is our sell, marry? We have identified this as our sell, marry. So we're gonna make it a zone like this. And I want you guys to try to practice this on your own. Today we are going to be looking into only the daily time frame, because from the daily time frame we can identify big movements so that we are together with the big guys who are trading the market. We want to try to get movements like this. So to get movements like this, it's important for you guys to trade with bigger time frames and understanding how to mark the zone precisely like what I'm doing right now. Clear? Next, since you guys are clearer, I will definitely go on a faster pace in looking at setups for fail, marry together with a marry buy or a marry sell. Let's go to the next one. This is our buy, marry that failed, so we're just gonna make it a zone like this. And remember, we have this as our initial buy, marry, but we're gonna call it buy, marry, or we're gonna call it buy, marry, fail. So we have our buy, marry, fail over here, and the next thing that we want is we need to make sure that we identify a sell, marry in the same zone. So in this case, you can identify this as your sell, marry. So we're just gonna make it a zone again like this. When we have identified this, what you guys could see is that price will just retrace back into our box and then rejects after. And where did it reject to? Back into our fail, marry, sell and buy, marry. So for me, the chart just moves up and down, right? So we just need to identify zones, key zones that price is going to retrace or even change its direction. Okay, next, let's go into the next thing. Okay, I found another one. This is our buy, marry that failed. We're gonna make it a zone again like this. This is our buy, marry that failed. So I'm gonna mark so that you guys are clear. Buy, marry, fail. Next thing that we need to identify is we need to identify the second sell, marry, because this is a buy, marry that failed. So a buy, marry that failed needs to go with a sell, marry. It cannot go with another buy, marry. So a buy, marry that failed needs to go and find for a sell, marry. In this case, we have identified this as our sell, marry. What do you see? As soon as price retrace back into our zone, into our buy, marry, fail and sell, marry, price immediately retrace all the way down, and we have gotten at least 1,000 pips from this. So with this knowledge, you guys should be able to understand directions better, and you guys would understand how to swing your trades based only on buy, marry, fail together with sell, marry. So today I would like you guys to practice this, and please comment on my Facebook and let me know how do you feel about this, and make sure that you guys are looking at the daily time frame. All right, this is only for the daily for now, because I want to make sure that you guys understand this thoroughly first from the daily time frame. All right, so that's it for this chapter, and I will send you guys the next chapter in the next few days. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best.